All right, guys, welcome to the call tonight. Like I said, we have Jamie and Kim Fitzpatrick on the call tonight. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and put their stats in the chat, and then I'm also going to read them off for you guys. So both of these guys, so they are not only just an incredible married couple, but they are both 2017 elite coaches. Jamie is 8-star, Kim is 5-star. Jamie sold his first challenge pack in March 2015. They are both SC10 All-Stars. They have 2 kids. They both still work. And Kim was number 47 this year, and Jamie was number 6 in the company. I think we're in for a treat tonight. So excited. I know that whenever I hear somebody like Jamie and Kim, whenever I hear that they're going to talk about branding and social media, it's just an incredible opportunity for us to all dive in and take a lot of notes and to think of questions that we might have for them. And so, Jamie, and Kim, I am not going to waste any more time. We just want to get right to your content. So you guys, thank you for being here with us tonight. And we're so excited to hear what you have to say. So you guys can go ahead and take it away.
Are you going first or am I?
No, I was just going to say thank you. It's great.
We do this all the time. We're like, who's talking first?
I know. No, go for it.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I can't remember when I reached out to you, Jess. I reached out to you first because I'd heard your story and I was like blown away. So really, go ahead. We always appreciate doing calls like this. And I think that what I love about this business is how much everyone pays it forward. And people are so selfless with everything. I mean, it's crazy. And I've done businesses in the past and stuff, and I don't know of any other business that actually shares this much knowledge with each other. It's really crazy, but I think that's what makes it really special. So thanks for having us. I know when I started as a brand new coach, there were so many people that helped me out. And so I'm always very conscious, and I know Kim is as well, to even just coaches that reach out and message. A lot of people helped us when we were first starting out. So I always remember that. So always remember, like, this business is, yeah, it's about helping clients and your challenges and stuff, but I think also it's about helping each other, because you're going to really get out what you put in that regard too. So just be generous with your time as best you can. We all are busy. I get that, but I try to always kind of live, and I think Kim does too. We try to give as much of our time as we possibly can, because I think that all comes back. You know, it all comes back. So again, thanks for having us. Let's get into our story, because we are chatters and we can be ramblers. So we don't want to go too long. But yeah, love to start with kind of our story and how we got going with this. So I'm probably a little older, and maybe I could be the oldest on the call. I don't know. I'm a little older than your average Beachbody coach, but probably about, 2002, I started my own company. I used to teach high school. I've jumped from career to career. And my brother and I started a company, and we ended up franchising it and opening multiple stores. And it's a typical business story where you bring in a business partner, and we thought we needed help in a certain area, and it just turned out to be a bit of a nightmare. So it started going downhill fast. And with that, for me, just brought this incredible amount of stress. And this is 2009, where I got to I was about, like, I'm about 195 now, comfortable weight, for me anyway, but I had gotten up to about 245 pounds. I gained about 65 pounds just through stress. I'm a self-medicator, guilty, like a lot of people, emotionally eat, would medicate with food, alcohol, and just, I was so stressed out from the business and the company that we owned that I didn't really know how to cope or how to deal. So I was newly married. We just had our son, Colby, and what's supposed to be just an incredible time in your life, because of the stuff we were dealing with. And I say we, because obviously I'd come home and share what was going on, or not share, quiet up like a lot of guys do.
Like a clam.
We don't really share our feelings that much. ate my way through it and really medicated. And so typical one night, probably eating pizza, drinking beer, whatever it was, playing online poker. I used to do that till like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just sit there and play poker. And I saw a P90X commercial come on, and for whatever reason, I guess so, I ordered it, and I have this man crush on Tony Horton for that reason alone, because as you all know, or most of you should know, when you go through and you wake up every morning and you have someone in the room with you, even though it's just a DVD player, and you develop that, even though they don't know it, you're developing this weird emotional relationship with them because you're going through this transformation mentally, physically, all that stuff. And he just kept me going, and I lost the weight very quickly, lost a lot of weight, put on some muscle. I got down to where I was probably almost getting a little bit too thin, and then put on some muscle back.
It was right when I gained 67 pounds of test.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
And so, yeah, we were customers for probably 6 years. Hey?
Yeah.
And
I was on Shaco for...
Well, almost when it came into Canada, right away.
Right away. Oh, yeah. I would
3.5 years.
Is that how long it's been in Canada?
Something like
Shaco?
that. Anyway. And so maybe, well, it's only the coaching's a little bit.
I should know that.
Anyway, so basically we were customers.
Yeah.
And here's the first thing I'll say about this is we were customers for years with Beachbody.
And we posted on Facebook.
Yeah,
we
weren't as active now, obviously.
No.
But
yeah,
this is why you have to. This is your first tip here. This is why you have to keep inviting and reaching out to people, because you never know who the next person that you're going to reach out to responds to your message, or who that is. Because we were customers for 5 or 6 years. And let me say this. Not one person reached out to us about the coaching opportunity.
But I also didn't know, and I have to be honest, I was the person that worked out in my garage, and I would see these crazy people at the end of the DVDs freaking out and working out. And I was like, what are they doing? That is crazy. Literally, that's what I thought, because I didn't know. And that was Summit. Now I know what Summit is, and I'm like, this is amazing. But I also didn't have anybody on our Facebook. Nobody was posting about the coaching opportunity, because I probably would have been like, what is this? What do you mean you're a coach? What do you mean I could have online support? Like, what does this mean? And there was none of that. Mm-hmm. So I won't take too much. We'll dovetail into that with our social media, but yeah, it was, and the other thing that was really ironic is that I was the Shakeology drinker that was obsessed with it, because I would go to Starbucks and I'd get my latte, and then I'd get my breakfast sandwich, and then I'd go to Whole Foods and get my Fiji water bottle. Yeah, that was stupid. It was like $10 a day. So Shakeology, you still gave me a little bit of shit for a bit.
I was that typical, sorry, this is very sexist, but I was that typical spouse husband who was like, what are you ordering every month?
But you really didn't care. And I would just be like, wow. I was like, I canceled it. And then the next month the green box would show up. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But because I loved it, I needed it in my life, and then you tried it, and the rest is history. But I have been on Shakeology every single day for I can't count, but I would
probably
be
right when it came to Canada.
Lots of days.
We're Canadian, if you can't tell yet by our accent. I mean, yeah, Jess, you're Minnesota, right? Yeah, you're basically Canadian anyway, so come on. So listen. I think as coaches, we get caught up in that whole saturation thing because we
had a point.
Because now that we did have a point, now that we have coaches in our feeds, right? And a lot of us think all we see is Beachbody coaches. You think it's so saturated? It's not, because we had not heard of coaching. No one reached out to us for a long time. So you have to stay consistent with that vital. I know you get tired of hearing about invite. It is so crucial, because it's not like playing the lottery, but you never know that next person who is like, that's the person.
Yeah.
And they want to do it and they have a passion for it. So keep inviting. So that's kind of our story, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me finish with this. I kind of knew about it, and I kind of researched it about 6 months before I signed up. So probably the middle of 2014, I kind of heard of it. But like anything, you're scared to try something new, right? And I kind of remember this now for when people are thinking of signing up, I go back to that point where I was nervous about it. And Kim's sister's in network marketing with Stella and Dot. She's really high up. And I was looking at it and I was finally, and I am legit, well, we both kind of are. I'm like ADHD, OCD. I knew if I was going to start this, like I knew if I was going to, and my whole belief in anything I've ever done is there's no point in me doing this. There's no point in me doing this if I'm just going to dabble. Mm-hmm. If I'm just going to, and this is just me, it doesn't mean we all have different goals and you have different income goals or how many people you want to help every month. That's cool. You have to decide what you want of this opportunity. I just don't dabble. I refuse to. I feel like if I'm going to attempt something, I might as well go 180% and actually see where I can go with it. That's like, it's like a challenge to me. If I take something on, I want to see how far I can go with it, mm-hmm. And that's kind of like, if you want to achieve this crazy stuff, I feel like you have to go in with that attitude and that mentality. Would you not agree?
I would agree. And the other thing is when you started this opportunity, I was working full-time at my corporate job and I was traveling to BC and I was traveling all over Ontario. I was finishing my degree.
Those are provinces. And
provinces. I have to fly to BC, can drive. But anyway, I was finishing my degree. We had young kids, and I just was like, I can't take this on. I can't take on extra stress. And well, what does this even mean? Like, what do you mean we're not going to be able to do extra things, And that for me, I just kept saying, I'm just too busy. I absolutely cannot take this on. But what happened was I became Jamie's customer. And I was put in the group and I was the person that, again, thought that Summit was crazy and that Autumn was crazy because, of course, you can't overeat healthy foods. That's just bananas, until I got the system and fell in love with it. Because you see, I was the girl forever that would be like on 1 week, off 1 week. I would say, I'm going to start Monday and I'm going to eat everything I can find in my home Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I'm a self-saboteur. I, like Jamie, we're a great pair because we eat our emotions and we love to go out for dinner. And we fell into this unhealthy lifestyle. And it became our status quo until you took a huge jump. And really, I've been doing personal development and all that good stuff for like 7 to 8 years. But here's the thing, and we'll talk about this a little bit later when it comes to our story, is that I was just getting in my own way every week, every Sunday. The victimhood, the self-doubt, all that stuff was there. And until I took a change, but until I wanted to take a change, because of this group and I wanted to support you, you ended up supporting me more than I even realized. So 3 months went by, was rocking it. And what I was realizing was that I was actually coaching, right? I was actually like exploding out to tell people how fantastic it was, how much fun it is, what we were doing. It was pretty cool. And that's when I kind of fell into, I want to say, the opportunity and saw the silver lining. And for me, I went active all in last August, 2015. Yeah, last August. And it was game on. August 29th, I was all in. I'd gone to an event with you. Mm-hmm. I was diamond at the time. But I really understood what the business, for the most part, was all about, what I knew, what I wanted to achieve at that point. And it's been kind of, gangbusters ever since, in terms of just like finding out what our why was and all that stuff. And we'll dive into that after. But that's a little bit of my background and my story of how this all happened. And it was very serendipitous, for sure, that you started with it. The other thing that Jamie did really well when we first started was you explained what you were doing. To me. He'd sit down and be like, this is what I'm doing. I was also in the challenge group, so I knew the work you were putting in. I understood when you're like, I'm just writing a post for tomorrow's group for our team. Great. So I was as involved as I needed to be. So I understood what you were doing. So right from the beginning, we were a team. Whether or not I was going to actively coach, that really didn't matter. Mm-hmm. Right from the beginning, I was supporting, because he was being really honest and open with what he was doing and how he was doing it. So that's tip number 2. I think that's the second tip.
What's one of them?
Well, we did one, and that's another tip. Anyway, so
yeah.
Are you going to keep on going there?
I wasn't going to say this, but I will, because it comes up a lot. Before I get into like my 3 points that I really want to talk about, and then Kim will kind of finish it off. But I get asked this a lot because, like, newsflash, I'm a guy, and there's not a lot of guys in the business. And look, I approach this subject, and I deal with this subject on our team because I have a lot of women who come to me and say, my spouse is like, you know, he's not getting it, you know, yada, yada, yada. Here's my, and I'll keep this quick, but this is what I suggest because, and I'm just telling you this because I know it happens a lot, is that, and I'm a guy's guy, like legit guy's guy. I get it. I understand why they think that. I don't necessarily have to agree with it, but I understand why they're thinking that. If you're having that kind of issue, my advice is to sit them down on the couch when the kids are in bed, just you and them, grab a glass of wine, whatever your thing is, and just, you need to tell them how important this is to you, and sit them down and look them in the eye and be like, this is really important to me. I really care about it. You have to give me the opportunity to turn this into something. And that requires their support. You know, I'm not necessarily saying put a timeline on it, like 6 months or 3 months or a year, but trust me, businesses take a long time to build, you know, and that's one of my points here is patience. But just, you know, sit them down and explain how important it is. And a lot of times I'll have people message me after, go, I've never actually done that with my spouse. I've never sat them on the couch and looked them in the eye and said, this is really important to me. Whether it works or not in the end, that's irrelevant. It's that they give you the opportunity, not that you're asking permission, but listen, I know how our marriage works.
Yeah.
You know, we don't ask permission, but we explain what we're doing to each other. And I think
I do not ask permission.
and I think you need to just be honest, and they need to feel the authenticity from where you're coming from with this opportunity. Yeah. So that's my advice to you. After that, I'm like, that's your marriage and that's what happens, but that's my advice. And so let's get going on this. And I don't sugarcoat stuff with our team. I never have. And I'm one of those people that kind of keeps it real, whether you like it or not. This is what it took for us to get where we are. And I guess under 2 years, we didn't set off to I'm going to make top 10. I didn't even really know how to do that. I didn't know, honestly, and this is, I swear to God, this is like not until probably 10 months ago. I think I asked my upline, Miguel, I'm like, so, because I think I in February I was number 17 or 18 or something like that. And then I was like, oh, so top 10's like, and then I actually asked, so how do I actually get there? What do I actually have to do? How does the elite point system work? And then once I kind of found out, and then I'm like, I was close enough that I was like, okay, that's a cool goal. But here's the thing is that you have to be willing, and we decided as a couple, you know, you have to sacrifice some stuff. If your goal is to leave your job and you want to stay home and work full-time or whatever that income is that you need to do that, you are going to have to sacrifice some stuff in your life. You're just going to. And that's my opinion. You may not agree with it. I'm just sharing my opinion. We've started to watch TV. I know you hear this a lot, but for the first year, I didn't even consider it because I felt like I had so many other things I could be doing to achieve the goal. And one of our initial goals was to retire one of us from our job. And this week, Kim's handing in her resignation letter. And so it didn't come though, like you have to have that long-term vision of the actions that I'm doing now, the action of not hitting the remote power button and going and doing something in your business that moves it forward. You have to be like almost like a fortune teller and see into the future 2 years that what you're doing now will lead to some pretty unbelievable things if you do that. But unless if you're not doing that in the immediate now, it's just not going to happen, guys. And TV is just one of them. There's so many other time wasters that people do. And one of them is Facebook.
And scrolling. Stop that.
I know. Okay, here's the thing. This is my line to people. Is like, don't be a fan. If you're in a movie, don't be the fan or don't be the extra, be the star. it's one thing to go look at what other coaches are doing to get ideas, but stop liking and commenting on everything they're doing. Like, trust me, and Bonnie Engel would agree with me, stop commenting and liking her stuff. She doesn't need more likes, you know? And actually what it does, and I don't want to make you fearful of commenting on each other's, because that's different, but like, there are Facebook algorithms too, that when you comment on people's stuff, it opens up some of your stuff with it too. So just be conscious of that, because every time you comment and like and stuff, it kind of, Facebook has algorithms to show other stuff in people's feeds. So just be conscious of that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So 3 things. This business requires that sacrifice. And I think that's grit. Like in life, you guys, you have to have a level of grit, because this is an unorthodox business. It's out of the box. It makes people really uncomfortable with what you're doing. And it makes them uncomfortable because they actually can't picture themselves doing what you're doing. So that uncomfortableness, they let that out on you. And like, what are you doing? They won't say it, but that makes them uncomfortable. So they're going to form an opinion about what you're doing. Not everyone, but you guys know what I mean, because this is a different type of way to maybe earn a living.
Yeah.
So just be conscious of that. So you got to have
it's a better way.
It's different. I think.
Yeah.
But you're going to have some grit. You're going to have some crappy times, you know? Did you want to add on to that? Or you're good.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Number 2 is patience. So society kind of says it's okay for all of us to go to school for 4 years, get our degree, and this is your folks are fine with this. Most of society deems this appropriate. You go to school for 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is. You go in debt for 80 or 100 grand, right? It takes you 4 years to do this. Society's like, yeah, of course you go into debt 100 grand to go get a degree. The problem is that now people may get a job when they come out of, yet, you know, so many coaches start to do this, and then after 3 months or 4 months, it's just like, I'm not making any money at this, and they just pack it in. You guys, you have to have a level of patience, and I know you hear that all the time, but you have to have a level of patience in this. Like, trust me, like when we opened our stores and we didn't make a dime for like 2-3 years into the business. Mm-hmm. And we at that point, we probably invested $300,000.
He even bought my wedding engagement ring out of his dog till. The dog till.
I did.
You did.
I was like, because we had pet stores, and I'd like save up this cash out of the till because I wasn't getting a salary because we weren't making any money.
It's like dedication. It was his business. He wasn't stealing. Disclaimer. But it was hard work for you. I remember that.
It was crazy. Yeah. And I have that reference point of investing that amount of money and not making any money. So when someone's like, has to buy Shakeology every month for 3 months, and at the end of 3 months or 6 months, they're like,
if I'm not making enough,
I'm making $300 a month. This just isn't. I'm just like, I don't understand that. And and I went to school for 4 years. Actually, I went to school for longer.
Yeah.
So there's that patience that has to be built into what you're doing.
And there's a belief, guys. Like, you have to believe to be patient, right? You have to believe in how you're going to align your goals, align your vision, align your mission with patience. Because if you don't have patience, but you also don't have belief, you're going to be missing that magic.
Mm-hmm. And then my third thing is courage. And I always talk about courage on our team. I think it's another huge one because we're posting on social media. I know how many times you hover over that post button for some stuff and you're just like, that's a huge part of sort of the way I've tried to live my life. Is I say, when someone asks me to do something now, I say yes immediately. I just like, if it doesn't hurt my family, it's not like someone's not asking me for $10,000 or whatever. I will say yes immediately to the opportunity, and then I figure out it after, and I kind of worry about it after if I have to, because I know it's going to grow me as a person. And social media, I know it takes a lot of courage to share what you're doing, but you guys, you have to open up that window. And we were talking about this yesterday, is like, I kind of equate it to owning retail stores where every retail store has a window display, and you walk by the store and you look in the window display and you see kind of what they have on, not on sale necessarily, but in season or whatever it is. And you have to have a window display as a Beachbody coach. And if you're not opening up who you are, you're not sharing what you do, you're not sharing that you could be a business mentor for someone, you're having trouble getting coaches, you're probably not showing that you actually have a business opportunity for people. A really good little exercise is, we tell our coaches to do this: go through your last 30 or 40 posts on Facebook. Go through them all and first put some categories up. One category could be someone who likes to work out a lot. Another one could be a Beachbody coach. A third one could be a family person, leader. Develop 5 or 6 categories. Hey, it's great that you're an amazing mom, but if 80% of your posts are of you being a mom with your children, no one's going to know you actually have a business opportunity. No one's going to know you have an accountability group. So go through and do a little inventory of your last 40 posts and put them in these categories. It's going to give you a really good indication idea of where you're at. But tying it back into courage is a huge one, because we all are worried about opinion. You know, that's personal development ties in with that. But you have to have moments of courage. The way I met Kim is, and trust me, I am not like the dude that goes into a bar and like I'm actually quite introverted. And I was just never that guy who talked to a lot of girls. And one night I was on like this group blind date type of thing. And we walked into this pub, and I was sort of introduced to a girl who was walking beside me, but we were the group of people. And I literally turned and I saw Kim in the corner. And you know the movie We Bought a Zoo? Highly underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, they talk about having 10 seconds of courage. You know, that was me. Like, I don't know.
He was on a blind date. He doesn't say it. He was really
I don't think I was. It was like a group blind date. Well, I don't even remember the girl's name.
It was a blind date.
The sad part is I literally left this girl in the group side. I never talked to them the rest of the night. How horrible is that? And I literally saw Kim, and like, you know, you talk about 10 seconds of courage, and I literally just beelined over to Kim, and that was that.
That's right.
And now, you know, because of that 10 seconds, that moment where I was just like, wow, why not? You know, we have 2 kids, and you never know where those little moments of courage can impact your whole life. And I really believe that in your coaching as well. It's like, you talked to the waitress the other night.
I did.
About coaching.
I love doing that.
You know, yeah, it's like you have to, and it's not about being salesy and being firemen.
Yeah. I was on the gurney when I passed out in the Vegas plane, and I sold a challenge pack to a paramedic.
So those little moments of courage, though, that you have to have, you never know how that can affect your life. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah. And I just want to piggyback for those of you. I was at the Vegas GoPro. I have done both the women's GoPro and the recent one in December. And Mel Robbins, who is a very well-known, world-renowned speaker, has what's called the 5-second rule. And it ties beautifully into the courage. And what it does is she basically says you have 5 seconds to make a decision. You have 5 seconds to make an impact. You have 5 seconds to just do it. And that's where all the courage comes from. But here's what she says. If you actually physically say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, your frontal lobe, it's like a reset button. So she works with people with like overcoming binging at night, and, you know, or having bad thoughts, or not being able to get out of bed in the morning, or all those kinds of things. Let's apply it to our business. Being nervous to just make that commitment to talk about what we do, why we do, how I talk to everybody about it, everyone. And, you know, because I have all the faith, I have a lot of courage, but I also have a lot of belief. And I still use 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It's the same when you go live. 3, 2, 1, you're live. You know, so you have to make sure that you are considering that. And there, thank you, Lauren. Lauren just popped in that resource for you. But it certainly is, if you're trying to figure out ways to, you know, build up courage. You know, there's a lot of resources out there, but we have to be resourceful as Beachbody coaches, as health and wellness entrepreneurs, as CEOs of our own business. You have to be resourceful. And if you feel that you've got stuff going on and you are having trouble, with one of the vital behaviors, or maybe it's posting on social media because of that vulnerability piece. Well, you've got some work to do, right? I always say to my team, and our team is, guys, if it's taking you half an hour to post, you got to do some personal development. So there's lots of insight that you really should be thinking about, guys, with this opportunity. This is like by far the coolest thing we've ever done. It's been a life changer for us, and it's really, really important. So, someone sharing the screen. Okay. Anyway, okay. Do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Jess is like, what's going on?
There we go. Do you want to, I want to talk, let's talk a little bit about social media, and we want to talk about branding, and we want to talk about creating fear of missing out. That's like one of our favorite things to do. So I want to start with it. And this is the first thing that we love to do on social media. We want to create what's called FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. And essentially what we try to do is we give snapshots that build curiosity all day long, all week long, that build up the anticipation of, what's going on in our group. Okay. So what does that mean? We include pictures. We include little, I love to use the hearts, and I'm sure you guys do this too, the hearts that are linked to the containers. Hey, for you, those of you rock stars that are in our accountability group, this is for our nutrition plan. And then I have like 4 people being like, what nutrition plan? What are you talking about? So you don't have to be an infomercial when you're creating FOMO, right? But it's about sharing the opportunity, A. B, it's about sharing what you do and your passion for it. And B, it's about being consistent. So you have to show up every day, guys. And we stress this to our team, that you have to show up, honestly, show up. So it's 3 to 5 times a day. We say you have to show up. You have to either go live, you have to post, you have to be intentful with your posting. And I love your exercise that you shared, because it really gives you deep insight into the type of leader, person, mom, wife, coach, resource. Who are you? What does your brand represent? So when you create the ability to have people feel really excited, really intrigued, that there's magic happening in the groups that you run, for example, or on your team, you're doing your job. The next part of that is that you have to have the magic on your team, and you have to have the magic in your challenge group. So as much effort and love and excitement and resources you put into your social media and your branding, you have to do the same for your clients and your customers, because they're going to be your walking billboards, right? And they're going to be your direct referral sources. So there's a couple things, right, that you want to make sure that you're doing. So my first thing was FOMO. We have a lot of fun with plank challenges and crazy things we do in our group and all that fun stuff. I mean, that's not very original, but for some of the people, they think it's absolutely fun and it's great, and we engage them and we get them out of their comfort zone. We sometimes get people to go live. We start to do stuff that we get them to do videos, those kind of things, to get them feeling like what it's like to be doing some of the stuff we're doing as well. So that's kind of a cool thing that we've done, both within our challenge group, that helps then on social media when they start talking about it, or perhaps posting a really cool thing on our wall because they're getting comfortable with sharing. So that's one thing we want to talk about. The other thing I wanted to talk about is, you have to switch your mindset a bit. And this is where the consistency piece comes in. And you have to keep your eyes, your heart, and really your aim to be totally focused on serving. So the more that you lead from a servant's heart, and you get your ego out of the way, right? Ego's just edging God out, right? It's like edging out what your real purpose is, and our whole part of our business is building relationships, guys. And if you can lead with your heart and with love and with a burning desire to support and serve and help people, they're going to feel that, and your vibe's going to attract your tribe, right? You need to be a product of the product. You have to do all those vital behaviors in order, and you have to share that on social media to make sure that people know what you're doing. So it's really, really, really important, guys, okay? The other thing to consider on social media is the engagement on your posts. So to dovetail to what Jamie was saying, where you put them in your buckets, I also encourage you to be a researcher of your business, a researcher of your posts, of your craft. Because, you know, I really hope that, and I want to encourage you to strive for excellence, not perfection. And by striving for excellence, it means you are looking at what's happening. You're not looking for likes. Let me be very clear. This business isn't about likes or loves. This business is about engagement and connection. So the more connected you are through a post, is it a business producing activity? Have you made a new friend? Have you invited? Have you connected with somebody over a personal message? That's how you can find success in your posts. And if you feel like you're not getting the much traction, you're going to need to change it up, right? So be a researcher of your craft and make sure that you are always observant in the engagement, as well as people are commenting, comment back, engage with people. I have this thing that you cannot get the last word in with me. No, you can't. Like, I will out emoji you till I'm blue. Like, not happening. The other thing to remember is when you re-comment on your posts, you are re-engaging the algorithms of Facebook. And guess what, guys? It's bumped right back up to the top. So you literally, by doing your job, because this is a lot of what I do too, you're engaging with the people, you're engaging with your population. You're also organically growing your brand and showing your brand. So consider that, okay? Engagement is key. This business is not about likes and love, unless you're giving a lot of likes and love to your customers. This business isn't about the ego, and that's tough. So you got to kind of check that a little bit.
Like there's a reason that we try to go live every day, and I know it's not everyone's jam, and I know it's nerve-wracking and stuff, but the reason we do it is for a couple reasons. Obviously, I think going live is it's like authenticity on steroids, because we go live and we mess up all the time. We do stupid stuff. We mess up our exercises. We're pretty goofy. Like, we're dorky by nature. But you know what?
What did I say about
Venice?
Venice. We had a challenger that was in Venice, Italy, and I said, have fun in Venus. Like, right on my live Facebook feed. I was like, because I'm not, and I just rolled with it. We roll with it because it's not about perfection, right? And here's the thing. When you can show your vulnerability, when you can show that you're real, and you can show that you are like, I'm human, guys. That's where it's at. I totally screwed up making an apple crumble one day. I had like 4 women be like, I'm in. You're not perfect. I'm going to buy that damn challenge pack, and it isn't about the sales at all. It was about the relationship that I had built with them, that they were like crying, laughing, that I totally screwed up an apple crumble and was like cool with it. I was sweating, but I was cool, and we rolled with it. So what happened was, for the record, patience, I had been working with those women for a year, for the record, but it was that one thing, that one connection, how I handled it, how I talked about it, so again, it's like, the more present you are on social media, the more real you are, the best it is.
Can I just, one thing too, is like, we're all there's a process, right, of connecting with people and engaging with people, and there's a certain like level of trust that comes. We found that as we go live more and more and more, and people actually feel like they know us, yet they're still a little afraid to commit to our challenge group, that trust meter, when you get into the conversation with people about actually coming in the accountability group, most of the work is done for us because they know us. They're they've seen us be goofy on Facebook. Yeah. They know we're normal people. We include our children, whatever your opinion is on that. We include our children. They know we're just 2 people that work with kids. We live a healthy lifestyle, and we try to help people. So when we get in that conversation with them about coming in the accountability group and maybe purchasing a challenge pack, the trust meter's up here. Like 80% of the work is already done. And they're like, and once they're ready, you don't have to go and explain. They want in. they want it on board. They want to know what we're doing in our group because we've also sprinkled that on our social media too.
Oh no.
So and trust me, it takes a while. You will get more comfortable with live. I know it's not everyone's thing, but don't be perfect. No one wants you to be perfect. That's not relatable to anyone because we all have stuff and baggage, guys. That's what we all have in common. Is we've all dealt with stuff.
And that's perfect segue into what I want to talk about next is storytelling, because you have to tell the story, right? And you have to do that on live. You have to do that when you're brand. You have to do that in your posting. And here's the real deal, guys. You have to believe in you first before others are going to believe in you. Okay? I'm going to repeat that. You have to believe in you first before others are going to believe in you. Because here's the thing. Your coaches, your challengers, your clients are going to be attracted to you because they like you. They want to hear what you have to say. You're their person, right? So, it's important to understand that, you have to believe your story. And do you have your story written down, right? Everybody has a story. Do you infuse it in your posts daily, weekly, monthly to inspire others? Do you talk about your why? Do you talk about the great stuff, things that have gotten you through, what you've learned this week from your personal development? How are you embedding that? Because everyone I've met has an amazing story and they just don't know it sometimes. And at the end of the day, we have to become, especially in this business, guys, you have to become the master storyteller. You always say the best storyteller wins. It's not that this is about winning, but the best storyteller usually does win. They get the most attention. They captivate an audience. They are engaging. They're all those things, right? They're perfectly imperfectly them. So it's our purpose, I feel like this, to help people find their light, their passion, themselves again. And that's our job as coaches, right? How amazing is that? But we have to be okay with telling our own story. And it takes all the courage, guys. It takes all the courage. It takes all the conviction, and it's the number one thing that's going to connect you to people is vulnerability. Okay? So you have to be vulnerable in your storytelling. And you have to be vulnerable as coaches because that's what relates you. That's how you become real. That's how you become a relatable person, that you're not just this surface with everything, is perfect. And again, let's invite you to look at those posts. Is everything picture perfect, right? You have to see, who are your muses? Are you posting all about the same thing, or are you diversifying it? What inspires you? Share that. What are you passionate about? Share that. Are you a great cook? Share that. If you're not and you're learning, take people on your journey, right? If you're not in where you think you want to be inspired by the space you're in while you're creating the path to get to where you want to be. And that is the magic, guys, and how you share that on social media. And, when you tell your story, guys, people don't necessarily think it's your story. They think about how it relates to their life. And how they see that in them and how you overcame that, or you had a solution and that now you become the solution for them, right? You become the person that's going to give them the tools, the resources, the tool belt to get through those tough days where we're all juggling these crazy glass balls and we're so afraid that one's going to drop, and guess what, the one that's going to break? It's usually us, because we put ourselves at the bottom of that list, right? So the more you can share that, the more you can talk about your story and you can properly communicate your story, the better it is. And honestly, storytelling is this. It's personal. And personal equals universal, right? Personal equals universal. And it's the physicality of it all. It's connection. And it's a lost art, guys. So you have to bring your story to life. And through your expressions, through your pictures, through your videos, through your apps you have, what's your brand? What's your story? How are you infusing that on social media so that you are distinct, right? Jessica, I love your gym. I really would like it. I got to be honest. Like, that's her thing. And I'm like, because you are inspiring with your little guy running, like your little one running around. And it's like, I love that. It attracts me because it's life. It's real life, you know, and it's not always rainbows and roses. The gym's pretty good though. But, you know, it's like you just real life. And that for me, like clicked, right? So that's just one example of, you know, making it your own story and your own brand and your own, you know, we work out in our paint covered garage and we're going to keep it that way because it's working for us. So figure out what works.
This is a good point to make, is that, you know, and it's not that I'm embarrassed about it, but it's like, we kind of built this business really organically. Like, we don't have a website. Like,
well, we almost do.
We almost do.
Like
we
next
don't.
week.
We don't have a fancy blog.
You don't say we don't have a website.
Well, it's there,
and we're having a blog. So
no one knows it's there. It's like does a tree fall in the forest? We have a website, but no one looks at it.
Well, we're going to launch it big time. We're creating FOMO.
So we don't have a blog. Like we don't have a lot of bells and whistles, but yet I think we're pretty good proof that like. We kind of just like, we're talking about a call about building a brand on social media when our brand is us. And guess what's cool about that? You guys can all create your own brand because it's really you and all your idiosyncrasies and likes and imperfections. That's the beautiful part about this business. Your brand is you. It's just kind of how you share that and having the courage to share that and having the belief. Like, I hope you all understand that, like, we're all, and I say this with total respect, I can say this, we're all a little messed up, guys. Like, we all have baggage. Like, we all have stuff that is like, ooh, I don't know. And I'm not telling you to share everything on social media. I'm not saying that, but you can let people into those things in your life because they're going to look and go, wow, I do that too. And that's the connection piece. It's not about selling a challenge pack. It's like, if they can connect with something with you, they want to do whatever you're doing. Yeah. They want to be a part of your community and world.
Absolutely. And I think at the end of the day too, guys, you have to be very comfortable to share your why. And I wanted to share my why a little bit with you guys and a little bit of my story very quickly, Cole's Notes version. But part of telling your story is you have to make sure that your story doesn't own you. Because if your story still owns you guys and that you can't get through it without you becoming a puddle, you also may not be attracting or putting out the strength in your story that you want to. So for me, guys, my parents got pregnant with their third child, and my mom had cancer, and she was in remission, and her cancer came back when I was conceived. And the doctor said, you need to abort this baby. And my mom said, no, that's not happening. And she had me, and she didn't come out of the hospital. And 11 months after, she passed on Remembrance Day at 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, right when you remember all the veterans shortly thereafter. And you think about the people that gave up your life for you. And I spent a lot of years in victim land, guys, and my dad remarried this woman, Cindy, who's my mom. I don't call her my stepmom, but she did the very best she could, but there wasn't a lot of love, and there wasn't a lot of the love that I needed. And that's what I figured out, is that the love that I needed was inside of me. And I did years and years and years, guys, of personal development, and I was broken. I was a victim for years. The fact that I can tell you my story without crumbling right now still shocks me. And partly is because of this, is because, first of all, I know where I knew what I needed to do all along. And I have a burning desire in my belly to help people understand their worth. And to understand that we're all good enough and that we're all capable. And the fact that I was given this gift, right? This life, this gift gives me the deepest purpose. And I literally, you know, was told my whole life, guys, that I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. Like my whole life. I'm not going to go there. There were very dark moments. But through the dark, I always was happy. And I was always pouring love into everyone else, but never pouring it back into me. And what I'm realizing, and through this journey, is that you have to be able to tell your story, guys, in a way that's going to help people and build them up. And that's what I've learned. And I've learned that I have to share that. And I have to share how I've done all of that. But here's the other point. You can do as much personal development as you want. But if you do not put your personal development or I'm going to call it my therapy because it was therapy, into action, it's just shelf help. And if you don't take the action and take massive action in your business and whatever is the fire within your belly, like I wake up, guys, with a fire burning in my belly that I'm going to leave every single person that I found that I talk to better than when I found them. That's my mission every single day. And it doesn't matter if I got a challenge. That's not what this is about. This is about inspiring, serving, and helping people live their best lives. And I truly believe that if you can figure that all out and roll your story, because we all have one, into your brand and into where you want to go and into where you want to grow. And if you can grow through what you go through and become this real, relatable resource, that's the magic. So that's what we've really learned. And we've learned through our story and through a heck of a lot of help and personal development and taking massive action in our own life. It's changed the game. So, storytelling is so crucial. Knowing who your brand is, and do you have business cards? Do you have a team name? Where are you at, guys? Even those baby coaches, even if you're Emerald, where's your team name? And I'm sure you have it, but if you don't, we want to invite you to do that. You are the CEO of this business, of your story, and you get to rock that every day. So go rock you. You're allowed to be raw. You're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to be kind. You're allowed to be patient. You're allowed to be fierce. You're allowed to be all of those things. Don't put yourself in one box. Be everything that you are and own it and rock it and just go do it.
I have nothing to say after that.
Oh my gosh, you guys, chills. No, seriously though, just relating to you, Kim, and I want to give, and Jamie, and I want to give everybody some time to ask questions too. But, I started the Fearless Empire, 5 months after I started going into 2015 with two people. We started our team. I was looking at other people that were doing this and they were going all in, and I was all about that. And I started it. We together, we did Zoom calls. We planned our team stuff. We went all in and we acted like we were a top team from day one, And I think that that's so important. And I was also just laughing a little bit as you were talking about your lives, because literally, guys, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, Isaiah's I'm in the middle of a live and my 3-year-old is like, Mom, I pooped, come wipe my butt. And I'm like, this is real. This is real life, but I mean, people were dying on it. They just, they could totally relate because a lot of them are moms and they got it, and so it's really, really just fun to hear you guys talk about the funny things and to hear you talk about the in-depth things with telling your story. And Kim, sometime we'll have to talk because my mom passed away from cancer too, so we'll have to chat.
For sure.
But I love that, and just the engaging part about how people just connect with you when you breadcrumb, and you share those parts of your life. And even with pregnancy, my goal was to inspire, but then to also just be guys, I'm having a lot of Braxton Hicks and I need to chill, and people are I actually had a girl message me that's pregnant. She's like, thank you. I thought you were some kind of crazy, Wonder Woman doing those workouts or something, but I think people can just relate to you so much that way. So awesome. Love what you guys said about patience. Nobody wants to be part of a get rich quick scheme, but everybody wants to get rich quick. And that's not how this works, because when you're building relationships, if you want to be in sales, that's a different thing. But this is relationship marketing. And it's really about learning people and building that trust. And Jamie, I know that you saw my call on that and how important I believe that is as well. And just really understanding that, when you do your job and you continue to build, guys, it's going to come, but it might not happen fast, and that's okay. And some people have sprinted and some people have taken a little bit longer, but it's really just about where you're at with what you have, and what you have is plenty. It's just a matter of time. So I love that you guys talked about that and the FOMO. Can we all just, yep. So anyway, I could talk forever about everything I could connect with you guys on, but there's 81 people on this call, and I want everybody to be able to ask questions, or, you know, maybe not everyone, but as many people as you know, have those questions, and they may have even written some in the chat, but gosh, you guys are getting a lot of love, so know that.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Dave, I just
Yes.
saw Dave raise his hand. Go ahead, Dave.
Raise my hand. I never knew that button worked, but thank you, Fitzpatrick, so much. It's inspiring to see a guy in the top. My wife has been a coach for almost 4 years now, and I jumped right on when she did in 2013. I'm a teacher, still working. The plan is to get me retired as soon as possible. You know, some things have been going on. It slowed our business a little bit, but it allowed my wife to pursue a passion as a medium, which has been just mind-blowing. So Beachbody has done that for us, but I'm starting to pull my weight. And my question for you is, as coaches in our trainings, we learn a lot about branding ourselves like you're talking about, but also about targeting a market and, you know, trying to decide who we want to really go after. Is that something that you've done? Or is your brand, does it attract a whole host of people? And what, you know, do you think there's a value in, you know, me trying to, I don't know if pigeonhole is the right word, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, do I want to target specific people? Because I think the fear that people have is that they're going to leave people out, and it's going to really, you know, limit their possibilities.
I don't know if this is a popular opinion, because I hear a lot of the trainings about, you know, find your avatar, build your avatar. You know, here's the one thing I know is that I believe if you are truly open on social media and people, you really allow them sort of into your life to see who you really are, your likes, interests, imperfections, all that stuff, guy, girl, doesn't matter. I think you're naturally going to attract who you're supposed to attract. Yeah. I really believe that. And here's the other thing, as a guy, because I get asked this a lot, I think I have heard other male coaches be like, they kind of target guys and stuff. And I don't understand that, because it doesn't matter what gender you are. We all have different personalities, and like, there's some women personalities that I connect with more than Kim, right? Because there's sometimes we attract coaches who come to us as a couple. They don't necessarily come to Kim, or they don't just come to me. They come to us as a couple and they want to join. And we're kind of like, we get a feel for what personality is attracted more, or who could help more. So I think I'm not a huge fan of like targeting specific people. I just think if you're open and honest and authentic, you're going to attract the right people. And my whole thing is, I just wouldn't rule out certain demographics or interest parties or genders just because you're a guy. Not saying you're doing that, but I just think you open up the opportunity to everybody, and the people with the personalities that mesh with you or the interests. I think you're going to find those people naturally. I don't know if I did a good job of answering that for you, but I don't really agree with targeting necessarily.
Yeah, I think you just have to really be organically you. And when you become you and you just feel good about what you're posting up and it's very authentic and easy, that's when you found, I don't want to say it's the sweet spot, but it's a little bit of the sweet spot where you're really comfortable with how you posted, you showed up in your business, both in social media, all that great stuff. Your vibe, you'll attract your tribe. I truly believe that, like without a shadow of a doubt. I don't think I've ever targeted. You know, I include individuals, even though, yeah, I talk about women and strong women and those kind of things, you know, but I think we have the male and the female energy that we talk about both. So we go live together a lot, and that I think that shows both sides.
Yeah.
But I think we're very, very true to who we are, and our vibe has attracted our tribe.
Thank you. Perfect.
I love that. And Jamie, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but you talked about finding like a few things that you really like stand for, you know, and like I know that I've kind of talked with our team a little bit too about, like, for me, it's really, when I think of myself, I think of like health, hope, and heart. Like health, and then faith, with the hope, and then heart is my family. And because of that, I attract a lot of people that share the same values as me, and I attract a lot of moms, and I attract a lot of people that are interested in just funny little cute recipes or whatever, and so I think it's like you guys said, you're just being you, but you're also being intentional, but it's really just about who you are, and then the rest is kind of your reality TV show that just organically grows who you are too. And so, just having those things is really powerful. So love it.
You touched on a great point too, and I should absolutely be saying that. Every post we do has intent behind it. Every single post. And it's either to show the lifestyle that we're able to lead or that we want to continue to lead. It's either about the coaching opportunity, but like it's always pulled back in just to drop the breadcrumbs, like you said, Jess. So intention is integral. Whether or not your vibe's going to attract your tribe, you have to be putting out the message and the intent and the opportunity in order to get that tribe.
Love it. Love it. Any other questions, guys? Okay. I know I speak for everyone when I say, thank you. That was just a breath of fresh air tonight. You guys are so real, and you have such good content. And I know that I have a whole page of notes, and I know I'm going to go into my team page and everyone's going to be buzzing, and it's just going to be fun to talk about. So you guys, thank you so much. I can't wait to do your call on Thursday.
Yeah, we can't wait either.
We're so excited. Yeah, thank you.
Fun. So thank you guys again. I know this is late for some of you guys joining, and I just really appreciate it. And so glad you got to hear what they had to say. So you guys have a phenomenal night, and many blessings to you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday.
No, it's great.
Thanks for having us.
Everybody else too.
Thanks, everybody.
Sleep well, guys.
All right. Bye, guys.